Hey, babes, and welcome back to our weekly reading of The Rebels, Book 1 of the Northwest Uprising trilogy. Yes, I am the author. Uh, do I know what I'm doing? No, I make this stuff up as I go along and hope for the best. But we are on chapter 26. So, Jay, here we go. I have no idea if there are trigger warnings. You'll have to go and read the about. It should be right below here because I don't remember what's in each individual chapter of the book, okay? I wrote it a few years ago. Well, there was no alarm, Phoenix whispered as we jogged west, taking advantage of the night. I think we're getting good at this. Jules' sour voice drifted out of the dark. It was just luck. Maybe, I said, picking up the pace, but we can't rely on luck. We need skills now, people. Keep your head in the game. We trotted through the streets, heading for the updated location of Steve's whereabouts. Steve had a little building they used as a barracks on the north side, and we wanted to see what kind of trouble we could cause. Red armbands were the perfect cover. Anywhere else, covered faces would be a dead giveaway for hinky behavior, but here, if you wrap a scrap of red around your arm, you're fine. Cops gave us a wide berth, and soldiers didn't even look twice. The site Kitten had noted was in Kaiser, not too far from the north gate. Across the street from the west-facing building were the partially demolished remains of offices. They'd been in the process of being torn down when the invasion happened, and rubble still littered the lot. We crouched behind a crumbling wall, studying the makeshift barracks by the light of two lanterns glowing inside the rooms. After 10 minutes without signs of movement from within, Jewel, impatient, stepped out, ignoring my hissed order. She got 3 steps when lights flashed over a building to our left as a Chimera truck turned onto the road. I lunged over the wall, wrapping the smaller woman in my arms, and collapsed, boneless again, taking her down with me. The light swept over our heads as we lay amongst the tumbled concrete, and I desperately pretended to be rubble. Jewel lay rigidly, barely breathing until the truck pulled into the drive next to our target, parking behind the building. When she made to get up, I tightened my grip, warning her to be still. We waited until Sirius and Phoenix came out, and then I knew it was safe. You're on toilet duties for a month, I told the younger woman quietly. If you fuck up like that again, you'll be pumping water too. Those were the 2 worst jobs in the lair, and the ones that most frequently ended up as punishment. Toilets weren't nasty, but it was time-consuming, while pumping water was plain hard work. Jewel glared at me, petulance rolling off her. Who knows? Maybe she was right to feel it. I'd brought her here. I'd brought everyone here. But she said she wanted to fight and agreed to follow orders. I waited for the tirade, wondering how I was supposed to discipline people when I didn't feel like I had any right to mete out punishment. The punishment is fair. River broke her customary silence, cutting Jewel off before she could begin. You know better. You've done better. We all thought you were ready. River stared at Jewel, implacable certainty rolling off her in waves. Where did she get it? And could I have some? Jewel nodded tersely. Turning back to the task at hand, we perused the barracks once more. Did Kent say anything about civilians in the building? I asked River. It's tended during the day by normal people. River closed her eyes, recalling the paper she'd destroyed. To the best of her knowledge, nobody other than soldiers stays there overnight. Okay. I studied the area once more. You know what to do. We're idiots, Phoenix breathed happily. This is great! River and Jewel kept watch. Sirius and Phoenix headed for the south end of the building where the main bulk of it lay. I headed for the driveway. I crept around the building, staying close to the wall, stepping cautiously over broken glass and bits of concrete, grateful for the rubber-soled boots. A light flashed in one window and I hugged the wall next to it, slowly inching my way around to peer through the broken pane. A lone soldier was reading in a corner on a bottom bunk by the light of a single candle. On my side of the room, I caught a glimpse of another bunk bed. I continued down the drive, passing 2 more dark windows before I reached the end of the building. The way was blocked by a chain-link gate, topped with barbed wire. Beyond that sat the truck the patrol had just brought in. A quick look back showed the lights still shining in the window and nothing else. I studied the gate carefully. Going over was out, but I took off my pack, jacket, and outer sweatshirt, shoving them underneath the gate along with my rifle. The gates didn't sit flush and had a chain spanning the gap, just wide enough that maybe... I eased a leg over, squeezed through, and then stopped, caught on the fence. Sliding back out, I removed all my shirts but one. Left in a long-sleeve t-shirt, I continued through, shivering as a fresh gust of wind swirled down the driveway. Working carefully, breathing out in an effort to lose those extra inches, I managed to squeeze through. As I twisted to bring the other leg over the locking chain, the Glock holstered on my thigh caught. I balanced on one leg, awkwardly working the straps off the protruding wires. When it came free, I nearly hit the ground. My training kicked in and I tucked into a forward roll right before I kissed the pavement. I just realized how often I use that phrase, kiss the pavement. I'm so sorry. Suck it up. I waited, barely breathing, to see if my acrobatics had alerted anyone, but all was still. The noise must have gotten lost in the wind. Shrugging back into the jacket, I stuffed the rest of my clothes into the pack for later and turned my attention back to the task at hand. "Hello, baby," I crooned to the truck. "Too bad we can't take you with us." It was, however, the perfect thing to go boom. With Seahorse's help, we'd shaped some of Anansi's Semtex into small rolls. The detonators were crude, but some experimenting had proved they'd work. Anansi again, playing with dangerous chemicals this time. I blew out a breath, took a roll, molded it to the undercarriage, and set the timer. His mother will kill me! I wedged another into the back wall of the building. Squeezing back through the gate took a precious minute, leaving me barely enough time for one more under the lit window. Subtlety went out the window as I hustled across the street. The problem was that the detonators weren't exactly accurate. We'd had it anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute with the same damn time set. To my left, I saw two other shapes hurdling a low wall maybe 10 yards ahead of me. My foot had barely touched the sidewalk on the other side when the first concussion hit. The movies are wrong. You don't go flying through the air with your arms splayed out, or do a belly flop on the concrete and pop up again in a minute or two looking like a disheveled hero. You go flying like that in real life, you'd break your face. Neither do you have time to think, to plan, to pull your arms in. It's all instinct, fear, terror, and after the first wave of noise, silence. Ringing in my ears was the first thing I was aware of, then the fact that I had ears. Did I call out? Rough hands grabbed me and yanked me upright, forcefully propelling me somewhere. I couldn't see. Panic threatened and I nearly screamed until I remembered it was night. Oh yeah, it finally dawned on me that I wasn't blind. There were shapes around me and I recognized them. River took the lead, Sirius right behind her, towing me like a tugboat with a barge. The light became better, so we turned north abruptly. I caught a glimpse of the eastern sky and the bright orange glow lighting it. Seahorse wasn't joking about the efficacy of Semtex. We halted and Sirius clamped a hand over my mouth. I realized I'd spoken aloud and pressed my lips together. My hearing returned slowly as we moved, and by the time we reached the river, I had most of it back. River took us down a drive into... I peered at the sign. The Kaiser Rapids Park. I shivered, a sweat a cold glaze on my skin. Phoenix hastily gave me my pack back, and after watching me fumble at it with numbed fingers, pushed my hands aside, stripped my wet shirt off, and helped me into more clothes. "How's she doing?" Sirius asked over my head. "Not good. She's freezing. We need to stop somewhere and get her warmed up." "After we cross," I croaked. Phoenix and Sirius looked at me. "What?" "We can't be found on this side of the river. We have to cross before we stop." I could barely speak for chattering teeth. "We're in a boat park. Find a boat." I closed my eyes, too cold and exhausted to say more. "How the hell does she do that?" Phoenix demanded to Sirius as they walked away. "She's in shock, concussed, and half frozen, and still knows where we are." Sirius, bless her, sent them off to find a boat. then came and sat behind me, sharing her warmth as best she could. The sky got noticeably lighter in the east before Jewel came back. "I've got nothing," she said glumly. From the south, Phoenix and River appeared, hauling an old fiberglass canoe with 2 oars in it. "That works," Sirius commented. I fumbled around, finally realizing I'd lost my armband, but Sirius stopped me. "You're our prisoner," she said cheerfully. "After all, you did blow up Steve's building, you naughty girl." She shook her finger at me. I gave her one back. "Hope this tub won't dump us in the drink." I eyeballed the canoe skeptically. "Let's keep her away from the fence," Phoenix said to the others as they unceremoniously loaded me in. "I'd rather not see what kind of security they've got while she's in this condition." I was getting tired of them talking about me as if I were an idiot, or not even there, and I felt utterly useless as I clutched the sides while they launched the canoe and leaped in. River and Sirius paddled as hard as they could to keep us from getting swept away with the current, steering us for the other side. I watched the water pouring into the canoe, convinced I could see currents and eddies in it before my brain kicked in and I started to bail. The canoe crunched against the far bank and the front caved in, making it quite clear we'd have to find a different way out of town. "Well, at least she got us here," Phoenix said, looking at the water puddled around her feet. I nearly fell in, tripping over my own 2 feet as I exited the canoe, and only a desperate grab at a tree branch saved me. "I think I'm done with boats," I said, wide-eyed, staring at the mud in front of me. While I stood there contemplating my close call, the others loaded the canoe down and shoved her back into the river. She didn't even have time to sink before they were hustling me through the trees. This area looked uninhabited, nothing except a few foot trails meandering through the trees. Sirius found us a spot and we bedded down in a clump of bushes, packed together like sardines for warmth. We had a couple of lightweight sleeping bags that went under us and 2 more to go over the top. Then Sirius shoveled fallen leaves over that to give us added warmth and concealment. I ate what was given to me and slept when that was gone, oblivious to everything else. A slice of watery sunlight trickled through the needles and crawled sluggishly across my eyes, waking me from dreams that were better left alone. A low moo sounded close by. I cracked an eye open to see a cow standing several feet away, chewing her cud, mouth moving rhythmically. Crackling in the bushes heralded another cow walking slowly towards the river 100 feet away. I shifted slightly, wincing as a line of fire across my side fired up at the movement. The weight at my back stirred, and Sirius's grinning face appeared above me. "So, you're finally awake, Ah! I raised a hand to shield my eyes. "Warn a girl before you do that! Your ugly mug is not the first thing I want to see in the morning." "It wasn't," she said. "How would you know?" I groused. "They're my eyes." "I heard them open," came her smug reply. "It's too early for bullshit! Or too late, whatever." "Will you guys shut up for once?" Phoenix peered aggrievedly over her shoulder at me. "I was enjoying the sunlight until you 2 started yapping." I freed a hand to give her the finger, then gritted my teeth as the movement caused the line of fire in my side to flare. "I think I got hit last night." Not too badly," Sirius observed calmly. "Fuck off! It's my damn side!" "You're still alive," she pointed out prosaically. "Besides, I'm pretty sure that even with everything, we'd have noticed if you were bleeding like a stuck pig." Shut up and check my side, would you?" "Why is it," Sirius asked the air as she gently pulled up my shirts, "that it's never a hot, muscly guy asking me to look under his shirt?" "Because you hate everyone," I gasped as she pried the last layer away from my skin. She raised her eyebrows, assessing the damage. Phoenix ignored us, but the ruckus pulled River and Jewel over to observe. To be fair to my cousin, saying she hated everyone wasn't in the least accurate. Sirius is one of those rare few who is happy with herself and isn't involved in the constant, unconscious search to find someone to complete her. "It's not too bad," the verdict was delivered with a grin. "It looks like a piece of shrapnel hit your back and curved around your side. Congratulations, your ribs have done their job. Does this hurt?" She poked experimentally while the other two looked on with an abominable lack of sympathy. Yes! I gritted. I don't think it's broken, Sirius shrugged. If it was, you'd have probably screamed. You're a psychopath, aren't you? Sweat bloomed across my skin as I tried to relax into the pain. How did we not notice this before? Phoenix sighed and shifted irritably. I'm going to get more water since you two won't let me have any peace. Gathering up the canteens, she left one for Sirius and stalked off. Sirius used the last canteen to wet my side down and clean the wound. Then she started bandaging. River supported me, and Jewel helped my cousin wrap my ribs, ignoring my protests. You make a sucky doctor, I gasped. More crackling in the underbrush caused weapons to appear in our hands like magic. When the intruder finally made it through the bushes, I don't know who was more surprised, us or the sheep. It stared at us a moment before baaing and wandering off again. Hot on the heels of the sheep leaving, Phoenix returned. Get this, she said, dropping the canteens. There's a bunch of patrols out and about, and a hell of a lot more animals around. Goats, sheep, chickens, ducks, the works. Fences maybe 60 yards that way. She pointed north. Map, I said. River fished it out of her belt pouch and smoothed it on the ground. We gathered around the map, heads bent intently, and River traced the city limits before touching the approximate place we currently hit. I am so sorry. Shut up, Jay. River traced the city limits before touching the approximate place we currently hid. According to the map, it was unpopulated, which explained the livestock. Following the map to the west, we came to the dot where Kitten had marked a brothel. That's right next to the fence, Jewel observed. Easier to escape. Yeah. I examined the area as best I could. 2 of us can watch the building, the other 3 can find the fence and prep a way out. We need to know how far it is from the building to the fence and if it's likely that patrols will hear a fight. We ain't getting caught with our pants down this time, okay? When we moved out, Sirius took the lead. In dense undergrowth like this, her poor eyesight didn't matter a bit. Phoenix had the rear, and I wrapped my arm with a strip of red. We hadn't gone far when Sirius let out a warning. Fuck! Steve! We were trapped, cornered. Any attempt at diving into the bushes would be ruined by the noise of our passage. Only one thing for it. Line up! Scarves up! Keep your mouths shut! I hissed. I stepped to the front as the first soldier rounded the bend, not knowing what else to do, I saluted. Sir! Report! I bit my lip, feeling the urge to give into giggles. I always had the urge to laugh at inappropriate moments. Why did that have to show up now? Sir! Maxwell of the North Salem Corps, sir! I coughed slightly to add a bit of gruffness and give a reason for my shoulder shaking. No signs of any people but ourselves, sir! Keep looking, he ordered. The care he made enunciating the words made it quite clear that he had no intention of making a mistake and unknowingly becoming a laughingstock. There are dangerous people loose. Sir, yes, sir! I saluted again and the others followed suit. No sign of anyone but us? Phoenix hissed when we were clear. What the hell was that? The truth, I replied, snorting with poorly hidden laughter. You know I have a hard time lying. You were laughing too? I sniggered. It's not funny. Phoenix couldn't let this go. We still have a mission to complete and we can't let anything get in the way of that. I looked away, delighted. Phoenix had a mission and wouldn't compromise? She was concerned about others' lives and wouldn't throw her own away needlessly? This was the best news I'd had in days. We'll get the mission done, I promised. Moving out at a quick pace to get away from Steve, we were reminded yet again that traversing areas on foot when we were accustomed to driving takes freaking ages. Meanwhile, we passed various farm animals and all I could think about was hamburgers and barbecued chicken. The time passed in a mix between pleasant daydreams where we had enough to eat and subconsciously noting every tree, animal, and track. Daydream and reality met when Sirius halted, waving us down. More animals had gathered here, finding shelter from the wind in the run-down buildings that made up this tract of land. Chickens nested under some houses, while ducks paddled in an abandoned kiddie pool. "Keep it tight," I muttered, as we quick-marched across the bare ground. 3 houses into the new labyrinth, and we ran across another patrol of soldiers. I made it through this one without hysterical laughter, at least. "You know," I said, watching them depart, "I'm wondering if they're really that careless, or if it's got more to do with arrogance." My statement was met with blank stares. "What?" I said as we continued on. "From the little we know, North Korea is very regimented, and folks have to conform and never step out of line. Like, they're not used to people being people, which is to say, lying, cheating bastards. And they simply don't expect disobedience on a large scale because it's not what their people would do." "Nice theory," Sirius said, pausing to listen. "But who cares? Hasn't got a damn thing to do with what's in front of us." I shrugged. "True that. River, we need the map again. I can see a road sign up ahead." Evening settled in, casting long shadows as we examined the map again. By cutting through a few backyards, we could take nearly half a mile off our route and put us at the end of Emerald Drive, just a short walk from our destination at the drive's far end. Kitten had narrowed it down to an area, not a house, and we skulked in the shadows looking for the differences. Phoenix spotted it. Again. All the yards had long, overgrown grass, but only one had a dirt line trampled into it, and bars over the small windows. The house was small, run down at the eaves, with wood rot setting in, though solid enough for the time being. River and Sirius volunteered to find the fence and prep a way out, so Phoenix watched the back door, while Jewel and I had the front. Thus ends Chapter 26. Thank you so much for being here. I will endeavor to get another chapter out next week, hopefully at a time when I have a little bit better lighting and I don't look quite so weird. If you enjoyed this, you can go and find something to my socials. Do please follow me, like, comment, say hi, just to let me know somebody's actually there. Oh. Fuck. So you weren't supposed to see that one.